I thought today we could talk about the final frontier, the last taboo, and talk about money and romantic relationships. So I think something that our viewers could explore is on the initial date or early in the relationship, just putting it out there. Hey, this is usually an awkward part of a date. I just want to put it out there. I want to share 50-50. Or, um, how do you think about that? And starting to engage that conversation earlier to start to build the foundation for having open conversations about money.
Well, I think you're right. It comes down to communication, and I think it's reasonable if perhaps on the first date, if someone asks someone else out, I think it's reasonable that perhaps that person who made the invitation pay unless it's been discussed otherwise. I know going Dutch is certainly really acceptable, but beyond that first date, I think it's important to make sure. I mean, sometimes one partner wants to be chivalrous and wants, or maybe there's a big income inequality and wants to pay. But it needs to be talked about and discussed. And that's a great stepping stone in order to have quality conversations about money. I mean, take the taboo out of it.
Sometimes both partners are earning the same income. And many times we're not. And I can remember being on a walk with a girlfriend, and she was sharing with me that her significant other, when they first started dating, was making a lot more money than she was. And he just assumed that she was making the same income. So there was this discomfort around different activities they were doing together for my friend, because it brought up some feelings of inadequacy or not being an equal in the relationship because she couldn't participate. She didn't feel like she could honestly have that conversation. So let's dig into that. What coaching would you give my friend in that scenario?
Well, I think you're absolutely. I think talking about it, saying I don't feel comfortable going skiing. I can't afford a ski ticket. And that gives the other person the opportunity to say, well, actually, I really want to go skiing. That's one of my favorite things. And is it okay if I treat you to skiing? It helps to bridge the dialogue and consider it being part of it's an important part of dating and getting to know each other. And too many times people don't talk about it and will want to present or impress and maybe pretend to be something they're not. And that only if the relationship evolves and grows into something more meaningful can end up being toxicity in that relationship. So money problems can happen early if communication is not equal.
Why don't we talk about when you're getting really serious in a relationship, or you are really serious and you're married?
Right. In a long-term committed relationship, because divorce is so high, and the number one reason cited for divorce is money issues. And so I think if couples can get on the same page and be aligned with, there's so few things you can control in your life. There's some things about money you can control. So why not give yourself the best fighting chance of having a successful relationship? I like the idea of having a money date. Bring sexy back to your marriage with money. I like to recommend that partners make it a date. Get a babysitter for the kids. If you have kids, make it special. Maybe go out if you're able to, if we're not in COVID times, or make it denote a specific date and prepare for it. And I recommend and have seen a lot of success in clients to bring a list of what's important to them. And I also encourage them, not just money issues, but other parts of their life as well. So you may have goals, and this is the perfect time of year because, at the end of the year, being reflective, looking back, looking ahead to the new year, there's a lot of opportunity to help to make those goals happen. Um, so if you make a list of things that you want to accomplish, for example, maybe parenting, you could probably talk to that. Different goals you have for your children in education, could be fitness goals, health goals, could be building a new fence, could be saving so much, it could be paying off some debt. But breaking it down into different parts of your life that are important to you and bringing that list to the date, there's an opportunity to talk about it with your partner.
What I would say to our viewer who might be struggling is just keep at it. And just like most other things in your life, you're going to build that skill set, you're going to build that muscle in your partnership. And then at a certain point, you're going to look back and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe that was so hard for us, X years ago to have this conversation.
Right. Well, I absolutely agree with what you're saying. I have seen a lot of success. I've had a lot of success personally, as well as I've seen other people have success. That if you actually come prepared, review your list of goals, and together go on your date together, you can then both come to a mutual list. And it's where you together as a team, you create a list. And that list then serves to be a very powerful roadmap to help guide you together. It's very empowering to be halfway through the year and suddenly to realize you've accomplished most that was on your joint list. So that's my favorite exercise for couples in dealing with getting on the same page of finances. And also, I think people need to realize that by protecting one partner with money issues in the relationship, it's actually doing a disservice. It's not really being of service because statistically, if it's a male-female couple, women tend to live longer than men, and they are going to be alone at some point in their life. And for them to, by one partner taking care of that and keeping them in the dark is really a disservice. A more loving, more collaborative is to talk about it and give them skills so they can participate and be part of the conversation.